Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Babael here. Joining me is Jerds. We are bringing you a match between Impunity and ManaSurge. This is the third installment of the Hearthstone Standoff. Now that said, so far the points is 6-4 in favor for Impunity, and they have a lot of options here. But of course, this next player needs to know what he's doing. And up against Wensushi's Druid, it's not even the rogue yet. It's just his Druid. Do they stand a chance? Of course they do, but ManaSurge needs to continue this streak of, I cannot even call it a streak, it's just barely begun, right? It's just Wensushi with one game up. He needs to win the next 4 games. That's it. Joining me is Jerds. Jerds, how is everything, man?
Man, everything's going good. Taking it easy here in Brisbane and watching some great Hearthstone and casting with yourself, having a good time. So it's all good. Watching some quality games. I had a really good game just before. If you're just tuning in now, it was a really nice Mage versus Druid between Manju and Wensushi. Wensushi just taking it in with some really good decision making. And now the question is, what do you do to counter a Druid? And what would you say there, Babael?
Well, I would like to see a Druid mirror matchup because Crea is good. Oh, by the way, yeah, it's Crea that's going up next. Crea is the EHL Season 1 first runner-up. So we have a grudge match between both of these guys here. The funny thing is that his Druid is the best so far out of all the other classes that he play. And Wensushi, guess what? He's forced to play the same Druid. Or maybe a slight little variation there, but still it's going to be a Druid against Druid, and I would love to cast this. This is just very good. A lot of pride and ego on the line. If Wensushi does win this, Crea is completely devastated. Trust me on that.
Yeah, sure. Well, with Druid, if we are seeing a Druid versus Druid, it might be a ramp. It could be a ramp Druid. It could be a token Druid, which is just starting to hit the upper ladder now. When I say token Druid, I'm talking things like Violet Teacher, Power Wild, and Savage Roar. Or it could be that classic burst Druid that you see with Force of Nature and Savage Roar as well, you know. So there are a few variations. I mean, they're not huge variations, but when you're talking a mirror matchup, every card makes a difference, you know. So we'll see what happens here. Crea versus Wensushi, Druid v Druid.
Alright, Jerds, meanwhile, can you run through with the viewers what's the Hearthstone Standoff format?
Yeah, so we've got, we're talking about 9 classes that can be played, but you know, team v team and 4 players in each team. And if you lose, you have to choose a new class. It's that simple. And there's only a limited number of classes that can be played so far. So you know, it's really basically a war of attrition and good decision making. It's up to the captains to choose what players go forth with what classes. And so far we're looking at a 4-6 in, is it 4-6 in favor of Impunity?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything more that you want to flesh out on the rules there for the crew, but
yeah, generally it's a share hero pool concept. So 9 heroes shared between 4 players from each team. The first team to knock out all 4 players from the other team wins this standoff. So we'll see how that's basically just the format. Very, very interesting format that we have here.
Oh yeah,
it's super colorful. Them to play Priest or Mage, and that's why you see people playing Mage here, and other than that you don't see that. But I'm right, it's the Mirror Druid, so a lot of pride here. And Crea, if he loses this, he's gonna slap himself so hard, trust me, I know him.
Well, as you said, you know, like there's pride on the line, not just because it's a grudge match, but he considers this to be his better deck, right? His better class. So alright, here we go. We're just exchanging some shapeshift swipes so far. I'm seeing some pretty slow starts. Like there won't be any big hits happening for a few turns yet. So we'll just see what happens. Always good to have a wild growth to give you some advantage early on. But yeah, we're about evens at the moment, I would say. No decisive advantage yet. Still running that Alexstrasza there. There is one in Wensushi's hand. Loving to see Alexstrasza. You never see that in Druid decks. I think it can be a really clever play, especially if you're setting up for some sort of bursty combination. I haven't seen anything bursty in his deck yet, but we'll see as more cards actually get revealed over the game. An interesting choice to see on Crea's side, whose currently turn it is at the moment, still deciding what to do. He's got 5 mana to spend. Personally, I'd probably go for the Nourish. There's no threats on the board, so you might as well draw some cards and try and get some card advantage that way. That's how I see it. And you do kind of want to keep, even though putting a minion on the board is always good, you kind of need the utility of just the instant 2 damage that the keeper could give you, or the instant silence, more importantly. So, well, we'll see what he decides on now. But there is an interesting card in Crea's deck there that we can see. He's got the Starfall, good for anti-AoE or just like a straight-up 5-hit. 5-hit for 5 isn't the greatest mana value. And yeah, look, he does draw the cards, which is, I think, a great choice. I said 2 cards, I did mean to say 3. And he's got, more importantly, he's got a minion to play next turn. No matter what comes down, he can play something. He's got a good follow-up. So that was a good call to go the Nourish. Back over to Wensushi now. He's just hitting for the face there. Not optimum use of mana, still 2 in the hand. But here we go. Oh, top deck and Sunwalker as well is a pretty good play. Not easy to get through something with a bubble and a taunt. You know, so yeah, now the ball is in Wensushi's court to respond appropriately.
Yep. It would be nice to note that, well, he does have a Keeper of the Grove in the hand there. He can play that very nicely. He can also copy the 4/5 first, just for laughs and just to make sure that, you know, he's got some good traction going. And seeing how Crea has got Black Knight, that is not a good option. But, well, it's still one of the many things that Wensushi can try and play here. Now, if he does play the Drifter Claw, you know, with a taunt, he can still get chopped down very quickly. Whatever he plays, if he gives it Mark of the Wall, it can still get chopped down quickly. And those are just some of the facts that he needs to deal with here. I think the big question is, does Crea play Black Knight against a 4/6, or you want to save it for generally something like a Ancient War, you know, or a Iron Bug Protector, 8/8, 5/10, you know, nasty stuff going on there. But I guess he does drop down the bear, so bear goes away, and I guess now it's pretty much going to be some face action going on.
Yeah, yep, and so be it, you know. Yeah, not really much to say. These guys are just basically trading blows at the moment. It's basically all that's going on. Oh, he decides to actually drop the can. I think that's a decent play, actually. You know, it's going to take more than either of those cards to actually get rid of a can. Just having that 5 toughness, and both of those 2 attackers right now only have 4 attack. So he would definitely have to add something to it. Would not be surprised to see a silence or something like that. But
oh my god.
Choosing to faceless manipulate the Sunwalker. I don't know. I feel like you'd probably get better value out of the can. He's deciding between the 2.
Yep, I agree. Well,
it is a decision.
It is indeed going to be a decision here. He needs to make some pretty clean decision, because if he does copy the Sunwalker, even if the Black Knight comes out, it's still fine, you know, not much of a problem. But given this particular situation that we're facing off with a lot of 4/5s there that cannot really kill each other, copying the current is definitely a lot better. I guess even if Swipe does come in, he cannot kill everything on the board, and generally, other than Starfall, you don't really have a good buckler mechanic coming in from a Druid, so would love to see him copy the current, and he does that, just that, very nicely. So that's 9 damage again to Wensushi's face here. Crea is so angry that he lost EHL Season 1, that now he wants some sweet builder revenge.
Oh man, he's out for blood, and you know what? I think that's a great play. He had board advantage. He extended board advantage significantly by making his own can. There's no need to remove Wensushi's can when you can just go for the face. And he did just that, exacting revenge through aggression, as well as, you know, a very clever play. So I think he did the right choice.
Yeah, but the trick here is that there is a faceless manipulator in the hand of Wensushi. He can copy the, you know, the Sunwalker and make it a lot trickier right now. He can also give Mark of the Wild to the 4/5 there. Very easy, peasy situation.
And look, that would have been a sweet play. Personally, I probably would have gone for what you said, Mark of the Wild, and then faceless the Mark of the Wild can for double. But this is alright too. Silence cleverly being used to remove a bubble and also a taunt, so that's fine. And yeah, we're just looking. This is how Druid versus Druid plays out. If anyone's ever played this on ladder before, whatever format before, it's big chunky plays, you know, just like this.
Wow, look at Crea. He's basically all in right now. Very nice silence there coming from the Keeper of the Grove using this spell, as well as a very easy rough to pick off Current Bloodhoof. And
dude, he's going for it.
Yeah, even preventing Bane Bloodhoof there. So the thing is, Sushi top decks another Mark of the Wall, and he can't just copy something, give it Mark of the Wall again. And this time around, my oh my, it's definitely going to be a little bit different here. But he's just going to swipe here, and he's down to just about 8 health. He might just lose this. He is looking to mark off the wall, the Keep of the Grove, but what he doesn't know is that there is a swipe as well as a Keep of the Grove that will be able to cancel away the taunt. So we are looking at Crea winning the first game against Wensushi here, and oh, this is just so good, man. I'm excited because we all know Wensushi is gonna play Rogue Things. That's his accomplished deck. You know, he doesn't really play Druid, but when he does, he still wins game. But against Crea, I guess we all know who's the better. I think, yeah, you know, BM finish, in fact. Wow.
Lovely. And you know what? This game, Babel, this game was a perfect example of a mirror matchup. Like, grudge aside, cards aside, they both had very similar power in their hands and things like that. It was decision making that really won it, you know. A perfect example of having a small advantage and then squeezing it out to become a larger advantage. Really well played. I've got to respect that.
Very nicely done, like you said, as well. So that said, now we are looking at a 7-4. 7 in favor of Impunity. Just one more game, and they can take this series. Now, ManaSurge have been reigning champions at Hearthstone Standoff. They did dispose of the first team, which is RKF, Richard Q Fanboys. I know it's a little bit of a fun name, but we are doing a little bit of a fun match anyway, so who cares, right? Back in the, I think back in March. And the second series was just last week, where they won. They completely stomped over, maybe not completely, but they kind of stomped over Spectral. And now, it's up against Impunity here, and Impunity looking very good. They are just set to win the series very quickly and easily, it seems. With a 7-4, man, the dream is still kind of alive here, but like I said, man, ManaSurge is going to have to win Crea, Trinity, both of which 4 games straight with one deck.
Yeah, you're right. It's one deck, one man versus the odds. But you know what? If anyone can do it, could it be Wensushi with his super